CBS 8's Kelly Hessedall is live from the Sheriff's Department with what she's learned about this cold case and about a second victim who could be connected to all of this. Kelly?
That's right. One mystery solved, that is, but still so many questions. Now, Jane Doe has been identified as 24-year-old Claudette Powers. Sheriff's detectives used a strand of her hair to get a DNA profile, and then they entered that into two different genealogy databases. Now the question is, who killed her?
It took 37 years to identify just who she was and solve that mystery, but now we have to reconstruct her whole life. Where she lived, where she worked, who she knew, was she dating anybody, who were her friends, and that's basically, we're just starting with a brand new mystery now as opposed to the one we just solved.
And Powers' body was found near the Los Coyotes Indian Reservation in February of 1986. Her hands and feet were bound. Sergeant Tim Chandler, whom you just heard from, says she died a violent death, though they don't know an exact cause. Now, the next chapter is going to be challenging because after all these years trying to find people who knew her, who remember her, Sergeant Chandler says all they've discovered so far is she may have lived in Escondido in the early 1980s, possibly near Fig Street. They also believe she may have worked at a restaurant. Now, her family hadn't heard from her since 1984, so imagine what it was like for them getting a call from detectives recently saying they had found her. Now, the other piece of this mystery is a couple of months after Powers' body was found, detectives found a man's body in that same area. They're trying to figure out if the two cases are somehow connected.
The male John Doe, he was about 75 yards off the road. We think he was dumped. Someone would have had to climb a fence, get him over the fence, and leave his body there. Whether he was killed there or somewhere else, we don't know. And
Sergeant Chandler says, like Powers, the male Jane Doe or the John Doe appeared to be in his 20s, 5'10", blonde hair. He was dressed in beach clothing. So now they're going through the same process that they went through with Powers. They've exhumed his body. They're going to try to get a DNA profile. They'll put that into a database and try to contact family members if they can find them. But they say the fact that both of these victims were found in such close proximity around the same time frame, they just suspect that possibly these two cases could be connected. Jesse and Heather?
Yeah, Kelly, it must be just an incredible shock to the families who've been wondering all these years what happened to their loved ones to get that call.
Absolutely. The sergeant today said it's kind of a mixture of both shock and then also grief. And then the questions start setting in. In Powers' case, they didn't even know she was in San Diego. They don't even know why she was here. They have talked to the husband and you know, tried to find out exactly what was going on at the time. But so far, they say there have been no suspects. That husband has moved to the Midwest area. So they are asking anybody who knew Powers, knew what was going on in her life at that time. They're hoping that they contact the Sheriff's Department to give them any information possible.
All right, we'll see if detectives can kind of get some closure there, figure out exactly what happened and who's responsible all these years later. Kelly Hessedall live for us from the Sheriff's Department. Kelly, thank you.